Gotta make sure that Monokuma is facing the right way. Alright, I'm ready. Hello, lovely friend. Today I have a bit of a special video for you. Throughout the entirety of the year, I'm following musicians and video game releases, looking out for perfect albums that I can write to. And that happens to be mainly because video game music happens to have this kind of nuggets of feeling without lyrics, without being obtrusive. Why? Because in video games, the music is generally meant there to be in the background to kind of build around the atmosphere. Sure, it's not the focus, but it helps you get into the mood. Without it, it wouldn't be the exact same way. It's one of those things that you don't notice it until it's gone. And, if you've been following me, if you've been following this channel, you know how I feel about music, and you know that I'm always hunting for new stuff, and I kind of wanted to take a moment and reflect on 2015 and give you 5 awesome examples of great albums that you can listen to while writing. I am cheating a little bit because this list is actually just arranged alphabetically. There's no special sorting here. I believe the following 5 albums are all amazing, and honestly, I was going through my musical library, and I was like, man, I got a lot of albums during 2015, but which of them was I writing to the most? And the following are the 5 albums that I wrote the most this year. This is not a matter of, to me, this is not a matter of like, this is the best album, this is the best one for your buck, for your money. No. I pick these because these are objectively the ones that I wrote to the most. I can check my play count on iTunes and they'll tell you, just how many times I listened to certain songs. So I'm gonna go through these albums, give you a recommendation, show you one of the awesome songs from each of them, and set you on your way. I believe the following 5 albums are amazing, and I wouldn't be making a video about them if I didn't believe in them. And of course, as always, you can find links to all of these albums and all of the awesome people who made them in the description down below. So let's take it from the top. The first volume that I recommend today is Fragments by Ben Prunty. Ben Prunty is the amazing guy behind the Undertale Soundtrack, one of the best video game soundtracks and music to write to of all time. I recommend that album wholeheartedly, but today we're not talking about FTL, which is really good, but today we're talking about Fragments. Ben Prunty earlier this year, he released Fragments. Fragments is a collection of tracks, almost like a collection of bits and pieces from different games. These are all tracks that never made the cut in all of his other previous works, and he kind of revised them and put them together in this album. And while I do love that all of these tracks are entirely different, and you can tell that somewhere from an entirely different feeling and mood, they all still kind of stand together with Ben Prunty's style. Now I can go on and on and on about how awesome this album is, but how about if I actually show you how awesome it sounds? My favorite track from this album is Little Steps, and it sounds a little bit like this. Ben Prunty's music has this enormous sense of wonder to it, and that's what has literally pulled me to every single one of his soundtracks. If you're looking for a collection of little things that they may not all ring with the same feeling and emotion as though the following items, but if you're looking for a collection of odds and ends that can all stand on their own, well, in that case, I recommend Fragments by Ben Prunty. Now, this next item is a little special for me because it was one of those situations in which I stumbled upon something entirely by mistake. I found a game on Steam, and I thought I would check out the soundtrack, and I did. And then I discovered that the soundtrack was amazing, and I picked it up, and I listened to it, and it ended up becoming kind of one of the main staples of my writing for this past year, and that album is Please Don't Touch Anything soundtrack by Blinch. Now, reflecting back on things, I kind of do realize that I wrote a lot about characters being alone, or characters basically being stuck inside of their heads, if you catch my flow. And Please Don't Touch Anything also resonates with that feeling of loneliness. Because if you know the game, you're a person sitting in a room with a really strange device that may or may not destroy the world if you let it. And the music for this game is just so lonely. It absolutely makes you feel like you're stuck inside of a room. And my favorite song, just so you understand what I'm saying, my favorite song is the title screen song. One of the things that people overlook sometimes is that feelings are not exactly attached to the things surrounding you. Because while, yes, you can feel loneliness being stuck inside of a room, of a prison cell, if you may, I think you can also feel loneliness as bad or worse when you're surrounded by people. When I listen to the title screen song, I picture a character in the middle of a crowded metro, and even though they're surrounded by people, they feel terribly lonely. This album is so good, and this is one of those albums where, like, there are no happy songs in this album at all. They're all just these lonely songs, and I love it. I also love the chiptune nature of it. This is one of those things where, like, I would almost refer to this as a guilty pleasure. There was a time when I was waking up in the mornings listening to the title screen song because I loved it so much. If you're feeling like a little bit of chiptune music and you don't mind the idea of this soundtrack in which there are no happy tracks and it may or may not deal with the arcane feeling of something going on underneath the surface, then I recommend, please don't touch anything. I don't know how to introduce this next following one, so I'm just gonna come out and say it. The third item on the list is Read Only Memories, soundtrack by Too Mellow. One of the really funny things about the way that the culture has evolved in these last few years is that people still to this day overlook the power of giving something for free. And follow me up on this, okay? Because about a year and a half ago, I stumbled upon Read Only Memories, which, you know, it looked like a pretty cool game. It had a pretty bare bones website, but it had like 5 songs you could download, 5 songs from the soundtrack you could download, and I downloaded them. And I basically wrote to those songs for that year and a half. And there were really simplistic songs, and, you know, they weren't all good. It was just a sample of the test soundtrack anyway, but I liked it. And when I heard that the full game came out, with the full soundtrack, I thought, yes, I am ready for this. And I put forward the money and I picked it up. People overlook the power of giving something for free if it's just a little thing. Because if they like it, they'll come back for more. I came back for more. Read Only Memories, I haven't played the game. I own it. I haven't had a chance to play it. The soundtrack for it, though, is stellar. Now, for those of you who don't know, Read Only Memories is a cyberpunk visual novel / adventure game, and I believe that this soundtrack resonates with each of the very important points of cyberpunk. You know, hard electronic music, like audio compression, heavy bass, those things that make you feel as though you're living in this dark future. And while I don't know much about the game, I know that this soundtrack nails all of those feelings. Don't believe me? Then let me prove it to you. My favorite track from this entire album is Distant Scenery. So good. You have no idea. When I finally picked up the soundtrack and I was listening to it, I was talking about it on Twitter about how much I love that track. I think I must have written, like, at least on that same day, like 4 hours to that one song. That track is so good. It's filled with this emotion, and I can absolutely see myself writing some more cyberpunk to this. I don't think Mercenary Hearts would have come out as well if it hadn't been for the Read Only Memories soundtrack. Also, by the way, I totally lied to you. My favorite song is not Distant Scenery. My favorite song is Rap Only Memories. I really like that song. I really like that song. That's literally the song that I wake up to. That song basically replaced the title screen from Please Don't Touch Anything. And now the next item on the list is kind of a controversial one because the instant I told somebody really close to me that I was listening to the soundtrack, they told me, Max, stop listening to the Undertale soundtrack. It's full of spoilers. That out of the way, I never cared really. To me, I experienced the story. And even if I know X and Y could possibly happen, I want to see how they happen. I want to see the hints that the author left in the way to let you know, hey, this is coming. So yes, what was the other soundtrack that I wrote to this year? The Undertale Soundtrack by Toby Fox. Now, I don't think I need to sell you on the Undertale soundtrack. If you know anything about Undertale, you love the soundtrack. So you're set on your way. The soundtrack for this game is kind of really lighthearted and happy while still carrying some really dark moments. To me, I believe that the soundtrack is kind of like the meeting of two opposites. This happy-go-lucky world where everything is colorful and everyone kind of looks like a cartoon, contrasted against the dark reality of murder, if you may. And now, before I start rambling away, what is my favorite song from the Undertale soundtrack? My favorite song has got to be Ooh, So Temperate. Why do I like that song? Why do I like that song? What's so special about it? To me, this song resonates with one feeling above everything else. Everything is fine. everything is good. Nothing bad could possibly ever happen. It's childhood. There's nothing wrong in life. People don't die. Bad things never happen to people like us because we are good people. Right? This song is innocence in auditory form. I could imagine myself writing flashbacks to the good old days to this song. It's just so darn effective. But anyways, I'm gushing. I love the Undertale soundtrack. It is absolutely worth the price of entry, as with anything else in this list. I love these soundtracks, and honestly, I'm not kidding you. If it hadn't been for them, I honestly don't think I would have had as much fun writing. And with that being said, I've given you 4 albums that I believe are awesome and are absolutely worth your money. The last album in today's list is actually a free album that I've talked about in the past, and through the act of this beautiful year became one of the staples of my writing. What is that album? Worlds Apart. An album remixing Final Fantasy IX tracks from OCRemix.org. What an awesome year 2015 was, seriously. OCRemix, my favorite website full of awesome, dedicated, passionate people creating video game remixes, made an entire 4-disc album for free of Final Fantasy IX remixes. It's amazing. My favorite song in the entire set. Over time, I thought I liked one or the other, but I think this here is my favorite song, and it is a remix of the main theme of Final Fantasy IX, A Place to Call Home, and it's called Sha Min Haim. Writing is a really lonely profession. You spend a lot of your time locked up in a room, typing at a keyboard, and it can feel really lonely to just be doing that all the time. And for myself, being stuck in the emptiness up here without anything else felt really daunting, and music really helped me from the beginning. From the beginning, when I started doing this journey, I always listened to music. I always had something on the background, and over time I developed this almost hunger for finding music that fit what I was looking for, that resonated with the feelings that I needed for the story. And that's what has become this journey of mine. Looking around, hunting for new songs, new albums, new artists, and seeing what they make. The battle against the empty page is a really hard one, and I know that some people out there don't like to use music, and that's okay. We are all different. All I can tell you is, for me, the struggle against the page became a little less hard when I put some music next to me. When I put on my headphones and I allow the music, the feelings of a person far away, in another side of the world, thanks to electronic instruments or acoustics, create feeling out of sound. Just like we writers create feeling out of words, they do it out of sound. And it's a combination of 2 different magics. And I think that writing would not be anywhere near as fun if it wasn't for the meeting of those 2. The alchemic reaction of 2 mediums becoming one again. Okay, I've gone on way too long. I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for spending a little bit of your day with me. And again, if you want to check out any of these awesome albums by all these awesome passionate people, check them out in the links in the description below. Go support them. Go pick up these albums. They're absolutely worth your money. I recommend them. And I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to another year of awesome music and lots of writing.